We're going to take a look here at RFMS system options and just do kind of a quick walkthrough. Opening up order entry, and I'm just going to do a simple filter here to get some results. We see in the summary here that we're looking at let's say, kind of a spreadsheet looking grid. We're also not seeing a lot of records per page, and maybe this just really doesn't work for us. So we want to see if there is an option to change this. Okay. Going up to the menu bar to Utilities, we're going to click on that and go to System Options. Now this is going to require a manager level password. I would keep that password level pretty high, and we're going to go here to Admin System Options. There's only so much true harm that you can do in here, but you could make life a little difficult for yourself if you've gotten into something that you didn't intend. I would suggest if you look at an option and you're not really sure what it does, you can always call up RFMS and ask them. Now, looking at this screen, we're seeing a lot of stuff going on. It looks a little confusing at first. It really isn't. What you have is the top part of this screen is all about filtering and searching, and then the bottom part is all about results. So we're going to take a look. For starters, we see that we have all types, modules, and apply to selected here, all categories, so we're searching literally everything. I'm going to come over here to this search box, and I'm going to try typing grid. Let's see what that does for us. And then we just hit tab. When we do that, we do get a short list of results here. Some of them sound interesting. I don't know what select grid to display is. Sounds like maybe what I'm looking for. However, I already know in this case, not actually it. So let's look at maybe some other ways. We could continue to search keywords and try to figure it out. We could try spreadsheet, for instance, and such, but let's just say we're really not getting there. Let's go ahead and hit the erase button here. We're going to clear out the search field, and we're going to start looking at some of our filters here. Okay, taking a look at types. Now we have global, assigned, and user. We'll talk about those a little bit, but right now we don't know which type it is. What modules is it affecting? Now we're in order entry right now, but as we look around a little bit, we realize this is happening everywhere. So perhaps we scroll down to the bottom and we see system-wide. Alright, so we're going to deselect everything and select system-wide. So now we get less results. Applies to, we don't exactly know what this one would be. Let's go ahead and just select all of those. And coming over here to category, now as we look at the categories, one kind of sticks out. This is really about the interface. So let's see if maybe if we check interface, maybe we get the results we want. Alright, let's take a look here and see how we did. We do end up with a pretty short list here, and as we go through, that sounds kind of interesting. This sounds maybe even a little bit more interesting. Let's take a look and see what that does. So we're just going to double click it, or we could hit change value. Let's do that. Okay, so now in this screen to the left we see the users we can select. Because this is a global type option, we can't actually select the users in this instance. But we see here any possible values we can change. To the right we see where it says multiple options. Alright, right there in the red. And if we double click this, we get a few options here all tied into this one line that we selected. Now if we look at the bottom, we can see browser options, use spreadsheet type, and we can choose row spacing. Both of these sound like what we're interested in. So if I uncheck spreadsheet type grids and maybe look at that row spacing, right now it's a 20, I'm going to try that as an 8, and we click OK, we can take a look and see how that works for us. Before we do, let's take a look at a couple other things on this screen just so we understand them. Alright, change value we already saw. Change hidden setting. This would impact whether or not individual users would be able to see this setting, or whether it's just kind of hidden in the background. Because this is a global setting, there's no particular reason for anybody to see it. change type. Now this one's kind of interesting. As we look at some of the options, not all of these can be changed. The ones that can, though, we can come in and decide what kind of setting we want this to be. Okay, so bringing this up, we can see we have the global, assigned, and user, and we have descriptions of what those actually mean. Global can only be changed by the administrator and affects everybody. The assigned is set by the administrator but can be set individually per user, and then finally the user can be set by the user themselves. And then finally we have this option to copy system options. Now we don't really need to take a look at that, however that is extremely powerful, extremely useful. That allows us to copy settings from one user to another, as so that when let's say we have somebody new come in and Jane comes in, and we don't want to have to set up her settings individually going item by item. We can take Dan's settings and say, well, Dan's settings work pretty good, we're just going to copy them over to Jane, and then we can tweak them as needed. We do get this message box here that all users must exit RFMS in order to see these changes. That's fine. We're going to go ahead and click OK. Exit out, and then let's go back into order entry and see what happened. Bringing up that filter again. Alright, we now see much different results. If we like this better, we can keep it or we can tweak it further. As always, if you want more information, you can go to rfms.com and visit the support site or call the help desk.